Hello students, welcome back. Today I am Anuradha from Arden Progressive School, going to start another topic of the same chapter, that is plant kingdom. So in this chapter we have done different types of division, and like we have started with the Thallophyta, that is the algae, then Bryophyta, and today we are going to start the third division, that is the Pteridophyta. Here, when we are talking about all these divisions as they comes under the kingdom Plantae, it means that they are photosynthetic, okay, and they can prepare their own food and due to some pigment. So here now we are moving in the evolution, because as the evolution takes place from water to the land. Okay, so we have done this thing that initially the plant, they have evolved from where? From the aquatic condition, and later on what happens that they started moving towards the terrestrial area. So now the algae, they are present in the water condition, so you can see, and their reproduction is totally dependent, everything is dependent on the water only. Then moving ahead in the evolution, we have seen that some of the plants, they can grow in land also as well as in the water also. It means that something they have evolution done by them, and due to that they are known as the amphibians of plant kingdoms. Okay, so here is the third part. As we are moving in the evolution, there are the pteridophytes. What are they? Pteridophyte. It means that these are the first plant which they have evolved themselves for the terrestrial area. It means that as after the bryophytes, these pteridophytes, they can present in the soil condition. Okay. In case of Bryophyta, they have started towards the land, but still they are not able for the sexual reproduction without the water. It means that water is required for their sexual reproduction. Now, as we are moving towards the Pteridophyta, it means that still a film of water is required for their reproduction. Okay, so these are the similarities and some of the dissimilarities between algae, Bryophyta and the Pteridophyta. So one by one we will compare the features of all these things with the previous division. Right? So let's start the first one, Pteridophytes. That the first point is written seedless vascular plant cryptogams. What does it mean? It means that still they are seedless. Okay, all the algae, bryophytes and the pteridophytes, they are the seedless plants. But when you will move towards the next division, that is the gymnosperm and then angiosperms, they are the seed bearing plants. Okay, but here you cannot see any seed. Second thing, vascular plants. As we know that all the algae, they are undifferentiated. Okay, their body is what? Undifferentiated. Means that plant cannot be differentiated into root, stem and leaves. No proper root, no proper stems, no proper leaf, because the whole body is present in the water surface, so they are taking their nutrition with the help of whole thallus. Then comes to the bryophyta. In case of bryophyta, still there is no differentiated root, stems and leaves. Now comes to the pteridophytes. Pteridophytes, again they are having true root, stems and leaves, which were absent in case of bryophytes. Okay, so in case of bryophytes, instead of roots, what were there? Rhizoids. Okay, rhizoid, they are acting like a root, but still they are not the proper roots because the vascular system is absent. Right? So what we can say, in case of pteridophytes, they are having proper root, proper stem, proper leaves, and they are having the function of all these parts. It means the root for the absorption, stem as well as to hold the plant, and leaves for the photosynthesis. Right? Then after it, we have done that the first difference among all these three, that about their differentiation. Right? Now, as here in algae and the bryophyte, Bryophyta, whole body is responsible. But in case of Pteridophyta, they are having the vascular tissue, that is the xylem and phloem. So the first time they have evolved their vascular system, but that much is not advanced, but still yes, conducting tissues are present in case of pteridophytes. Okay. Now comes to the features, because as we are doing different division, we are studying under different headings here. So the first one is the habitat. It means that where they can be found. So again I am telling that as they are evolving themselves towards the terrestrial area, still they require some shady place, some such type of cool damp place are required for their proper growth, right? So this is the habitat. Comes to the plant body, means that the main plant body, whatever the body which we have done till now, it is what? It is the haploid body. What is the main plant body of algae? Yes, it is a haploid body. If we will talk about the main plant of the bryophyte, that is the haploid. So it means that they have started their life cycle, or the plant is what? It is haploid in nature. Okay, and this haploid is known as what? We are calling them gametophyte. What is it? Gametophyte. So whenever we are using the word haploid, it means that it is gametophyte. Very simple. Then now in case of bryophyta also we have seen the same situation. It means that this gametophyte will form what? It will form the gametes. So in the earlier one we have done that as this gametophyte they will form the gametes. What will happen? That there will be the fusion of these two gametes and they will form the zygote. Okay, if you recall the previous one. Then if it is a haploid, we all know that these gametes are also haploid. Means that what type of what type of division will be there? Mitosis division. Okay. After this zygote, what it is forming? It is forming the another structure that is sporophyte. Okay. Now zygote is what? It is 2n in number. Sporophyte again it is 2n in number. Sporophyte is what? It is a single cellular, okay, but it's a multicellular, right? Then comes to the sporophyte. We know that what is the function of sporophyte? To form the spores. So from here there will be formation of spores, and from these spores they will germinate and it will form the gametophyte. So this is the situation we have done till now. Okay, in algae. And in algae, what is the difference? From the zygote, it will directly form the spores. There will be no structure of sporophyte, means that zygote will act like a sporophyte only. Okay, so this is the thing in case of algae. Then comes to the bryophyte. In case of bryophyte, what happens? This zygote will change into sporophyte. Okay, and here this will form some structure which we have done food, seta and capsule, and inside this capsule there will be formation of spores, and these spores will here get germinated and form the same gametophyte. It means that main plant body is what? Gametophyte, and another one is the sporophyte. There will be the alternation of generation. Right? Now, in bryophytes, we have done two things, liverwort and mosses. In liverwort and mosses, some difference is there, that there will be formation of a medium structure that we have done protonema. Okay, so we have done that after the spore formation, there will be the protonema, and from this protonema, there will be forming of buds which will form the gametophyte. It means that in case of bryophyte, this gametophyte as well as sporophyte, it's not an independent. It means that this sporophyte is what? It is non-green in color. In gametophyte, it is green in color. In case of bryophyte, means that it is taking its nutrition from this gametophyte. Right? So on this gametophyte, what is happening? There will be formation of sporophyte-like structure. So here they are dependent on the gametophyte. But here in case of pteridophyte, the situation is something changed. So what is the situation now? That the main plant body is diploid now. What is it? It is diploid now. In place of the gametophyte, it will be the sporophyte. Okay, so the main plant body is what? It is the sporophyte. Now, what is the role of sporophyte? The role of sporophyte to form the spores here. So now what will happen? It will form the spores. So how it will form the spores? For that they are having some different leaves, okay, which will bear the sporangium. Okay, what I said, that in the main plant body of the pteridophyte, it's a sporophyte. On this plant, okay, if you will see the diagram, that on this leaf, okay, so as it is growing like this, so upper part also growing, it means that some leaves, they are bearing the spores. What they will form? They will form the spores. But where there these spores will form? It will form in the sporangium. Okay, so these sporangium like structure is present on the surface of leaves, and on the surface of leaves what will happen, that it will form the spores. Now how it will form? With the help of meiosis, because it is diploid, and from here it will form the spores. So again, the sporangium is what? Is in this sporangium which is present on the leaves. From these spores what will happen? These spores will get germinated, and from these spores it will form the gametophyte. What will happen? It will form the gametophyte. Now you can relate that this gametophyte is again what? It is haploid. But in case of pteridophytes, they are independent, because sporophyte is also green, gametophyte is also green. It is also multicellular, it is also a multicellular. Both are the same thing, right? But the difference is that here it is diploid, but here it's a haploid. So from this gametophyte, what it will form? It will form male gamete and the female gamete. Okay, male gamete as well as the female gamete. Male gamete is what? Anthrazoids it will form, and female gamete, egg will be there. Okay, due to the fusion of this thing, they will form the zygote, which is diploid in number again. And due to the zygote, what will happen? They will form the embryo, and from here again it will form the diploid sporophyte. So I mean to say that whatever the cycle is going on, it is due to what? Sporophyte and gametophyte. The difference is that in case of the pteridophytes, there is no dependency of this sporophyte to the gametophyte, as we have seen in the previous division. Okay, so now if we will talk about the plant body, it's a sporophyte. Well differentiate means that they are having proper root, stems and leaves. Okay, now if I will talk about the structure, in case of pteridophytes, they are having two types of leaves. Okay, in some of the examples you will see that leaves are small. In some of the examples you will see that leaves are large. So on the basis of their structure of leaf, small or large, we have said that small leaf is known as microphylus. Okay, micro means small, macro means large. Large leaf, it is known as the macrophylus. So in your book, example is given as the diagram, so you can go through it. Selaginella, if you will see the structure figure of the Selaginella, it is having the small leaf. So what we can say, it's a microphylus. And if we will talk about Diabratris is what? It's a fern. So fern having very large leaf, so it is what? It is a macrophylus, right? Now, like this one, we have completed the plant body. Now comes to the vascular tissue. As I have said, during the evolution, the first time they have started with the terrestrial life. So they are the first terrestrial plants, and after that gymnosperms and angiosperms are there. Okay, then comes to the sporophylls. Now, along with these two small and large leaf, they are having one more leaf, which is known as what? It is known as the sporophyll. Why? See here, phyll is also written here, P-H-Y-L-L. Phyll is, it means that these are also leaves, but what type of leaves? Those leaves which are bearing the sporangium. It means that sporophyte, it's a plant. In this plant, three types of leaves can be there. Okay, two are the small leaves. Okay, one is small leaf, second large leaf, and third one can be those leaves which can bear the sporangium. So what we have said, these are the sporophylls, and these sporophylls is what? These are the sporophytes, right? Okay, after the sporophytes, what is happening? Sporophytes, and in this you are having the sporangia. Okay, and these sporangia are what? These again leaf like appendages. Okay, but But in some of the examples you will see that instead of these sporangium, okay, or the spores, they are forming inside the cones. So here example is what? Selectionella and equisetum. So you must have seen that there will be some cone like structure. There will be some cone like structure at the apex part, and inside this there will be the sporangium or the spore. So example is what? Selectionella and equisetum, where there will be formation of strobili, or we can say cone. So what is the sequence here? Sporangia are there, okay, and in this sporangia, what is going to happen? That the meiosis will take place, because it is what? It is the diploid, and we have to form the spores. So that's why there will be meiosis, and when these spores will get germinated, what it will form? It will form the prothallus. Likewise, we have done in the bryophytes also. There will be some structure for like protonema, but in case of pteridophytes, what is happening? It will form the prothallus. This prothallus is what? It's a gametophyte. It means that it will form such type of structure. What is it? It is a gametophyte. So what type of gametophyte? Thalloid, because again they are not having proper roots, stems and leaves. So what they are having? They are having the rhizoids. So we can say that this gametophyte can be male gametophyte or it can be female gametophyte. Okay, so what we have said? Thyroid, gametophyte. So this one is very inconspicuous or small, and as I have said, both are the multicellular, right? So this prothallus is also a multicellular, and it's free living. It means that it is not dependent on the sporophyte, because it is also a green in color, right? And this is also a photosynthetic. And what is the role of this prothallus, or we can say this structure? It can require the cool and shady place for their growth. So this gametophyte is what? Prothallus, and it requires cool, damp and shady place for their growth, and these one can be formed in one plant also or in different plant. It means that it can be monoecious or it can be dioecious, right? But in case of the pteridophyte, mostly they are monoecious. Why it is so? Because whatever the spores they are forming here, okay, it can be the small spores or the large spores, right? So in some of the pteridophytes, you will see that they will form two types of spores, small spores and the large spores. So small spores, they are known as microspores, and the large one, it will form the megaspores. Okay, so these spores, when they are of two types, they will form into the different body. Okay, so but there will majority of the pteridophytes, they are the homosporous. What is the meaning of homo? Same type of, it means that they are same in structure. Okay, so these types of spores, they can be found where that the condition is monoecious. Okay, so here we have done that. Another examples can be their heterosporous. It means that when there will be two types. Okay, so when there will be two types, what you can say? Example is Selegionella and Salvinia, right? So here what is happening? It will form male gametophyte, okay, or male prothallus, and here the female gametophyte or the female prothallus. Then there will be the fusion, right? So what we have done, that some of them they are the heterosporous, otherwise all they are the homosporous. So this prothallus, they will form, they are having, they will form by the two spores, megaspores and microspores. Megaspores will form the female gametophyte. It means that it is flash-like shape structure, and inside which there will be formation of egg. Okay, and the second part can be the male gamete, which will form what? It will form, for example, this is a female gametophyte, and from the microspores it will form the anthrozoids or the spores. Okay, so these are the anthrozoid. It will move towards the female gametophyte, and here again they need some film of water. Okay, it means that they require very less amount of water for their reproduction. So once they will reach into the female part, there will be the fertilization, and due to this fertilization, they will form the zygote. Okay, so this is the whole thing about the features. Now we'll discuss some more thing after this formation of gametophyte and the sporophyte, because life started from the sporophyte and they have formed the gametophyte. From the gametophyte, they will undergo the fertilization. So fertilization, again what I said, water is required, and here the male gamete, that is the anthrozoid's egg, which is the female gamete, it will form the zygote, and from the zygote it will form the sporophyte. Okay, then After the zygote formation, we all know that is a formation of embryo. Now you will think that embryo is present only in case of the gymnosperms or the angiosperm. But here, from here, you can see that embryo is there, but there will be no formation of seed. So we can say that this is the precursor of the seed habit. Means that from here they will start some structure that will form the seed in the later division. Okay, so what these are, what these are the precursor of the seed habit. Why? Because after the zygote they will form the embryo, and this embryo will form within the female gametophyte, because inside the female gametophyte there will be the fertilization. Okay, then example is what? Dapteris, Salicina, Adiantum, Equisetum, Salvia. So here again I am telling that each and every example are very important. Okay, then what about the economic importance? Means that what how we can use it. So economic importance is what? They can use as a source of food. So most of the animals, they are dependent for their food on this pteridophyte. Example is Marsilia. And the second thing is good cover on the hill slope. It means that they are the good binders. Okay, soil binders. So we all know that if there will be proper binding of soil, it will prevent the soil erosion. So again, from this aspect, it is very important. Now comes to the another example, Azolla. Azolla is what? It's a water fern. When it will combine, or it will form a symbiotic association with the Anabaena azolla, which contains the nitrogen fixing cyanobacteria. So from here we can say that it can act as a biofertilizer, because they can fix the nitrogen when they are fixing with this fern. Okay, and the third example is what? That they can be used as ornamental plant also, because you must have seen that Dapteris or the ferns, they can be used in a bouquet as well as in very ornamental things. Then comes to the classification. So we all know that we have started from where? We have started with the kingdom. How many kingdom we have done? 5 kingdom king classification according to R.H. Whitaker. Starting from the Monera, Protista, Fungi and Plantae. So this Plantae kingdom is the 4th kingdom, right? And under this kingdom we are studying 5 division. In this 5 division, what we have studied? We have studied algae, bryophyta. Then third one we are starting, that is a pteridophyta. So today we are doing pteridophyta, algae. Another one is the bryophyte, and the third one is the pteridophyte. Okay, and inside or under each division there will be some classes. So for that, under this algae we have done different classes. Bryophyte we are having different classes, and pteridophytes today we are having how many classes? 4 classes. Okay, so in this pteridophyte also they are having 3 classes. What are they? Psilopsida, then Lycopsida, then Sphenopsida and Pteropsida. So what is your role now? To memorize each and every example of each class. Okay, so under the Psilopsida, Xylotum is there, Lycopsida, Salichnella and Lycopodium is there, and Sphenopsida, Equisetum, and the fern which we are studying more, that is a Dapteris, Antares and Adentum Pteropsida. It means that out of these 4, the main is what? Pteropsida. Most of the examples which we are studying, they comes under the Pteropsida. Okay, then after all these things, if I will sum up the things which we have studied today about the life cycle. Okay, so how the life cycle goes on in case of pteridophytes, we know that there it will start from where? It will start from the sporophyte. Okay, sporophyte is what? It's a main plant body. Role is what? It is differentiated into root, stems and leaves, have proper vascular system. Okay, and after that they will form the spores. So where they will form the spores? They will form the spores in this sporophylls. Sporophylls are what? These are the leaves which bear the spores. Okay, and these spores where it is forming in the sporangium. So sporophyll is responsible for what? These are the leaves. In these leaves you can see the sporangia or the sporangium. Sporangia is what? It is a plural form. Sporangium is what? It is a singular form. Okay. So in these leaves you can see the spore bearing structure which is known as the sporangia. Inside the sporangia they are having the spore mother cell. Okay. It means that these are the cells which are present inside the sporangia. When there will be division in this cell, they will form what? They will form the spores. It means that what you are observing? Diploid condition. Okay. Diploid condition, diploid condition, diploid. Again, after when meiosis will be there, it will form the spores. So these spore is what? It will form the gametophyte. And what type of gametophyte? Prothallus. Okay. Here it's a prothallus and condition may be monoecious or the dioecious. When both of the male as well as female they are present or the same one, the condition will be monoecious, or it can be the homosporous or the heterosporous. They can be have the same types of spores. If they are having same type of spores, what will happen? They will present at the same plant body. Okay. But if the spore structure will be different, what will happen? They will form two structure, male gametophyte as well as the female gametophyte. Okay. And this male gametophyte will form the anthrozoids and structure will be what? Antheridia. In case of female structure, it will form archegonia, and in this inside this archegonia, egg is present. So due to the fusion of this anthrozoids and the eggs, they will form the zygote. So you can see that this haploid condition is restricted to this area only. Okay. If I will demark this area where you can see that only this structure is present, diploid haploid condition, and the above part you can see the diploid condition. So once there will be fertilization, it will form the zygote, and this zygote will form the embryo, and because it's a precursor of the seed, and after this embryo they will form again the sporophyte. So if I will talk about the alternation of generation in case of pteridophytes, what you can say that it is haplodiplontic. In case of algae, what we have done, that most of the time the phase they are present in which condition? In the haploid condition. So alternation of generation will be haplontic. In case of bryophyte, most of the dominant phase is what? Again, it's a haploid condition. But here you can say that the haploid and diploid condition both are the same, and gametophyte, sporophyte both are the multicellular. So here what type of life cycle you can say? It's haplodiplontic. Okay. And later on we will study in the gymnosperm and angiosperm the diploid life cycle. Right. So here we have completed the pteridophytes. In the next class we will discuss about the gymnosperms and angiosperm. That's all for today. Thank you.